Welcome, everybody, to the YTWPodcast. We're a howling good time.
Hi, podcast. I'm Dad.
God damn it, Nikita. I'm Great Canadian Guy of the YouTube channel Great Canadian Guy. Joining me this week are Jess of PortHamid.com.
Hello.
Nikita of the Sergeant Curry Pants YouTube channel.
Hi.
And YouTuber LaiQuen of her eponymous channel.
Hello.
All right, let's start with you, LaiQuen. How was your week?
I'm back to work after the Christmas break, back with students, and I forgot to make a video again. So,
Aww.
Well, that sucks.
I'm doing work and kids and life, and
Yeah.
that's what happened. I did manage to do a stream on Crossout.
Yeah, I caught the tail end of that.
Didn't necessarily work great, but we gave it a go.
You gave it the old college try. Your computer just couldn't handle it, huh?
No, that's my next plan is see.
Oh, hell yeah. Get that PC now.
Christmas and New Year's were fairly quiet. We've had some family issues over the last few weeks, so it was just spending time with my kids. And my neighbours are much happier now that my son has a silencing kit on his drum kit.
Oh yeah, he took up drumming.
I do enjoy the drumming, but the neighbours don't enjoy it quite so much.
Alright, so how was your week, Jess?
My week was good. I've been working on most of my content for like the past 2-ish weeks has been I made 2 Wolfpack members watch the Star Wars Holiday Special, and I've just been cutting up like their reactions to scenes, which has been really fun.
So good.
I'm glad people have been enjoying it because I enjoyed it. But that's
funny.
It's Rob from Bonus Stage Heroes and Max from Max Attacks, fellow wolves, and it's great because one of them is just like in awe the whole time, and then the other one is sworn off ever speaking to me.
Yeah, he spends the whole time just wishing he'd bought booze that day. Like,
yeah. So it's just seeing their faces side by side, I think, has just really sold it. And then I've just been working on other stuff. We're still in the post Last Jedi high. Of course, it's a high for us because we're one of the few YouTube channels that liked the movie, apparently. So I've picked up a couple of subs that just leave like comments of, "You actually get the movie," and I can just tell they're like really frustrated from all the other internet people, but that's all right. But no, it's been good times. It's been good times in Star Wars land, and we're due for a Han Solo movie trailer anytime. So it's been bountiful at Port Haven.
So what's your opinion of the actor they picked for Han Solo?
I really like him. He was on the short list like before he got cast, and I can't remember who everyone else was on it. I think one of them was like the dude from the Kingsman movies and stuff like that. And I know a lot of people wanted him. But I'd seen Hail Caesar, and I loved him in Hail Caesar, the Coen Brothers movie. And when I saw him on the short list, I was all for it. I think he really pulls off like a younger Han Solo look. So when he was casted, I was thrilled. I feel like most people are just nervous in general. Like there was no one you could cast that was going to make people happy.
People seem divided on how much he should look like Han versus how good of an actor he should be and stuff like that.
Right. Well, and a lot of people wanted Chris Pratt, but Chris Pratt is like the age of Harrison Ford in the original trilogy. So he couldn't really play like young Han Solo. It'd be like recast Han Solo. So I mean, I would have had no problem with it other than the age.
Personally, Chris Pratt's too well known to be Han Solo at this point.
I agree with that too. I kind of like
too bulky to be Han as well.
Yeah, that's also true. It's just for me, I've always liked the Star Wars gamble of mostly casting unknowns, except for like side characters. Like obviously, Last Jedi had Laura Dern and Benicio del Toro, but they weren't main characters. Their leads are mostly either undiscovered or big and like indie hits, and I think it's just easier for me to get to know them as the character.
I was just going to ask, is there any truth in the rumour that Prince Harry and Prince William actually played stormtroopers? Asking for a friend.
It's not a rumour at all. It's completely true. You can there's like a whole they visited the set video. I can send it to you after this. But yeah, no, they're absolutely stormtroopers in the movie.
Lucky.
As is what's his face? Crap, I know his name. He was Bane in Dark Knight Rises.
Oh shoot!
Oh man,
he's in like every Christopher Nolan movie. He's like Hardy.
Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy, that's the guy. I almost said Ed Hardy, but that's not correct.
Yeah. Tom Hardy is also a stormtrooper, but his scene was deleted, so he will be on the Blu-ray. But yeah, there and Force Awakens has Daniel Craig in it, so there's all kinds of random people who really just want to be in Star Wars movies.
That was one thing I wanted to ask about deleted scenes. Did anything happen to the Benicio del Toro part? Because he didn't seem to serve a purpose.
It's very possible. I haven't read into what the deleted scenes were too much for just kind of the dumb reason of when I get the Blu-ray, I like kind of the reveal of figuring out what the scenes were.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there was more. I mean, as it is, The Last Jedi is the longest runtime of a Star Wars movie, so I'm sure there's plenty that was cut out. But yeah, I think his purpose was more of to do with Finn's story, and I really like Finn's story, but it's kind of underplayed and undersold. I don't think it next to the captivating Rey and Kylo.
It took a back seat to Rey and Kylo, and it didn't really push the narrative forward very well.
Right, exactly. I like to say all of that stuff with Canto Bight served the story, but not the plot. Sure. If that makes sense. But for Finn, his whole thing is, even in The Force Awakens, he never really joined the good guys, right? Like, he was all about getting away from the First Order himself, and then he wanted to save Rey from the First Order, but he was never like, I want to help the Resistance take down the First Order. And he's still in that place in the beginning of The Last Jedi, both because there's very little time that passes and because he was in a coma in between the two movies. So for me, his interactions with DJ, which canonically DJ stands for don't join. Like, that's not even his real name. Like, that's how much Del Toro's character believes in not picking a side. And I think for him, it was about Finn's story and Finn deciding that he's going to be a good guy and he's going to be a part of the Resistance, as opposed to just kind of, I hate to say out to protect himself, because it makes him sound more selfish than he is.
He's neutral.
He's neutral, yeah.
In D&D terms, he's true neutral.
Yes. And most of his motivation at this point has come from wanting to protect Rey. Right. And him kind of moving from, I need to protect Rey, to I should help protect everyone.
Yeah, and that's moving towards a good alignment.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, Nikita, how was your week?
Yes.
Oh, man. Jess has been actively involved in this week, actually. And it has been so awkward. Where do I even start? Okay, so as you know, a couple of cats kind of chose me to be their slave.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the cats, I really thought they were all boys.
I think I heard a bit about this.
So the one cat, well, it was a kitten. His name was Tabuli. Okay, so yesterday they kept on yowling the entire day, and they were just yowling, and it's loud. And he's normally such a quiet cat. They're all very quiet. So then I look outside and I see, oh gosh, it's heat season, and they're getting jiggy with it, and they're going for it. And I'm like, oh my god, my cat is both gay and into incest. Let me film this.
That's great.
And I'm like, I just quickly grab the camera and I film it. I'm like, Jess, what do I do? They're brothers.
So I'm at work, okay? And for those of you who don't know, I work overnights. So it's 2 a.m. I'm trying to stay awake to do my job, and I get these texts from Nikita. And it's like, Jess, my cat, it's doing bad things again. And I'm just like, what happened? And I just go, the pregnant one? And she's like, yes, that one. but it's doing it again. I'm like, is it pregnant again? No, but it's having sex with its brother. And I'm like, all right. And at this point, I don't think she knew the cat was gay yet. And then we're having this conversation, and then I just get this video file, and I'm like, Sarge, what is this? And she's like, I will not be scarred alone. And I just... And then I just respond back in all caps, I will not watch incest cat porn.
I'd love to lie and tell you that was the worst part. It wasn't even the worst part. So they're going at it for it's 20 minutes, and I don't know what to do. Here my dad comes to me and he's like, you know what? I have visitors that should come in about 5 minutes, so you gotta have to let them in the house and greet them and whatever. And I'm panicking because the cats are doing this right at the front door, and I'm like, oh man, I gotta let this person into the house without them seeing what my cats are doing. And then I'm standing outside and I don't know what to do. And then this person is at the gate, and I'm like, oh man, I gotta let them in. So then I open the gate and I'm trying to turn this person around, and I'm coughing and I'm trying to get them into the back entrance. And I'm like, just enter through here. And they're like, but why? There's a door right here. And I'm like, no, don't.
Right here.
And I'm like, no, that door is just not good. Just it's not good. And then they get inside the house, and then finally cats are quiet, and I'm like, oh, that's good. And I didn't know, I didn't lock the gate yet, and the gate to the driveway, and the gate was fully open. So the cats are quiet. They're talking to my dad, and I mean, the cats weren't talking to my dad. I mean, the visitor was talking to my dad.
That would have been for a story.
My dad's having this conversation, and now he's in the living room with visitors, and the door to the front door is right there. And my cats are screaming again. This time it's louder, and I don't know what to do. And then my dad looks at me and he's like, what is that? Can you go control your pets? He doesn't know what they're doing, that they're just living la vida loca. He doesn't know. So then I'm like, I'll take care of it. I quickly close the curtains from the living room just in case. And the person's like, but why are you doing that? I'm like, it's so sunny. You might want some shade. And I go outside. Out of nowhere, there's 5 other stray cats. And this cat orgy is happening, and I don't know what to do, and I'm panicking. I'm freaking out. I'm like, Jess, is there a pamphlet for this? I don't know what to do. There's an incestual cat orgy with some strangers in the mix, and I don't know what to do. They're purring and hissing and yowling, and some are just fighting, and I don't know. So then I grab the garden hose, and I'm like, I'm just gonna spray you guys. I'm so sorry. And I spray them, and they're running, and they're freaking out. And then my dad is looking through the window, what the hell's wrong with her? And I'm trying to look normal, and then my particular cat just sits on the chair, and he's, well, now it's a she, and she's just looking all vulnerable at me, oh my gosh, this is so embarrassing, Mom. Geez, can't you just let me live my life? And I'm like, I'm sorry. It's my cat had a one-night stand, and I'm like, do I need to feed it, give it food or something? Is it hungry after all that exercise?
I love that that's where your brain went there.
I go back in the house, everything's fine. And then in the night, Jess calls me, and she's like, you know what, step into the voice chat. It's Max, it's Jess, it's Bear, it's Nolan. And we're talking, and then a cat is yowling, and I'm like, whose cat is that? And they're like, no, it's not mine. I have a dog, and oh no, it's not mine. Mine is sleeping. And then I realized my cats were doing it again in front of my friends. I was so embarrassed.
Okay, Nikita, do you live in an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm?
She must. She must. Oh my gosh.
It was so bad, John. Like, they were just yowling, and I didn't know how to tell the cats while having the phone on that, you know what, my friends are talking to me. Can you just drink some cold water
You just
and
stop
sit down?
boning for a minute.
It was so embarrassing, man. That was my week.
Are your cats like half rabbit or something?
I swear they were doing it like rabbit.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, I never watched that video she sent me.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, no.
I'm pretty
I was
sure
like,
that's
nope.
illegal in America.
Animal pornography. I have to say, I've never had enough of an interest in animal pornography to find out if it's legal or not.
Yeah, I only know that because there was a weird court case where I found out the intricacies of Canadian animal sexual abuse law.
Fair?
Yeah, I'm not going to get into the details, but it's slightly different than
fine.
America.
That's fine. I'm good.
Well, that's how the Kardashians got famous, so I'm going to name my cat Kit
Animal
Kardashian
porn?
now. It's going to be Kitty Kitashian or something. No, I mean, like...
What in the
it was
blue hell are
Kim.
you talking about?
I have no idea.
Kim got famous from doing a
It's
video.
from a
And
sex
her
tape,
mom
yeah, but there's
owns
no
the video.
animals in it.
So if my cat's booty gets famous...
I mean, that was kind of a leap, but sure, I got there now.
Yeah, no, that's stupid.
I'm now concerned every time I watch like an animal documentary.
Yeah,
Am I actually watching animal porn?
yeah. People just have no problem with it. They're like, it's science.
Yeah, it's science! Yeah! No, Mom, it's for science!
In high school, I took this one, it was like biology 2 or something, and we were getting to a part about animal reproduction. And my high school teacher sits down and she looks at us and she goes, all right, look, I'm not allowed to talk about human reproduction because I am not certified to talk about human reproduction. So if you have any questions about human reproduction, you have to go ask the gym teacher because that's who's certified. I am certified to talk about animal reproduction. It's almost exactly the same. And everything will be called the same, but I'm still not allowed to talk about human reproduction. And that was like the lead-in.
So she just did a wink, wink, nudge, nudge sex ed talk?
Basically.
Nice.
It was good.
It was good, huh?
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, we got coloring pages that we had to color in.
What?
Sex ed coloring books, huh?
But about cows.
Color the balls blue.
Fuck!
I actually had forgotten all that happened until just now. It's just all coming back to me.
Yeah, no, we just had the guidance counselor teach a class in grade 9. Like,
oh man.
see, I did groceries this week. It was alright. Time for the news!
Woo!
So our top story, one we kind of have to address. YouTuber Logan Paul recorded and published a video of a dead body in Japan's Aokigahara forest.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Because he's a genius.
Yeah, why? Like,
I mean, like, ugh. I get, like, you were... which sounds like bull anyway, because apparently it was well known for being a suicide forest.
it's a huge thing. Like, 50 people kill themselves there every year.
And it's one thing to show up there and, like, find a dead body and, like, maybe try to do a video, but then just have the sense to not actually show the dead body.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, it would still be controversial, and it still might be something we're talking about, but it would be less what was actually wrong with you.
Right. And what gets me is how much work that goes into making a vlog. He had to go there, record it, edit it,
yes,
export, upload, and then put in the metadata. And nowhere along that line did he think, I shouldn't do this.
He even had it in the thumbnail. He kept zooming in on the body and doing fake inhuman reactions. Like, nobody reacted genuinely in that whole video. You just see snickering and
Yeah.
laughing
In
and
that,
squeaky toys.
Yeah.
in a momentary point of defense, laughing is a genuine response to something horrific.
It
But-
can be.
At the
Yes.
same time, it was still such an awful thing to do.
Right, I'm not even
Right.
concerned about his reaction because we don't know what was going on in his head in that moment.
It
And
doesn't
then
look
someone
good, but
in
yeah,
the
I
background
can
say,
understand.
quick, grab the camera. Like, oh yeah, we should totally film
Hmm.
this person who is someone's relative
Yeah,
or
that's the
friend
thing,
or
right?
something.
Is
I mean, what I don't. Oh, sorry, you were still talking.
sorry, I was just going to say that's the thing is this person's relatives have to deal with the fact that the whole world has seen their loved one dead hanging from a tree.
Yeah, even if it's blood, it's still not right.
Right, because they know.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What I don't get is I have this teeny tiny channel. Like at the time we're recording this, I have 78 subscribers. And I'm paranoid whenever I try to like send a tweet that I'm gonna like send the one tweet that crashes my tiny little channel. It's like when you're that big, how do you not have a person that watches everything you do just to tell you when you're being an idiot? Because I can even get if you're cranking material out all the time and you're
Yeah.
on a high of your own creation, not knowing. But that's why when you're that well known and you have that much money, that's when you hire a person to tell you when you're being stupid.
I mean, it sounds to me like he doesn't think that he's stupid.
Right.
That's sort of the problem.
I mean, you look at his whole entourage, they kind of encourage the bad behavior. They're like, film this, say
Yeah.
that stupid thing. And doing daily vlogs, I think there's always that pressure in your mind that you got to do the next big thing. And he keeps on saying, I'm doing this for the first time in YouTube history. He just wants to go big or go home. He doesn't
Right.
really think about the consequences at all.
And that's where I'm saying it's like I don't even have a problem with that mentality necessarily, but that's where you have someone to be your Jiminy Cricket. Well,
Yeah.
I think the major concerns on this are that not only did he make the video, but it got to trending on YouTube.
Mm.
Nobody took it down.
Mm-hmm.
And he's
Yeah.
still gaining
But
subscribers.
it did come down after a
Yeah.
day.
He
But,
took
like,
it down, not YouTube.
When it
Yeah.
went down, it had like I think 550,000 views or whatever, and I was just like, wow. So many people watched it, and it took them so long to realize that this is just weird.
And it's not even gone because any number of people who watched it could have downloaded it themselves. I haven't
Yes.
searched for it, but I'm sure it's up on other people's.
Yes, that's actually how I saw it. Somebody reposted it.
Yep.
I've
Which-
only seen clips, I haven't seen the whole thing.
Yeah. I've
There's one point.
I've
there's
only seen
one-
the clips they've shown on the news.
Exactly, I wouldn't give him a
It's
hit.
really bad. At one point, he's looking at a bunch of kids, I think, after the ordeal, and he's like, oh, what if kids see this? But your target audience is kids. You'd literally zoom in on a
Yeah.
hanging dead body for millions of kids to watch, but in the video, you're concerned that kids are going to see this.
Yeah.
He's
But
not
you
concerned. He
clearly
feels like he has
zoomed
to
in on
say
it.
that to save face. Come on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thing. And then he goes with the, oh, this video is not going to get monetized. It wasn't going to get monetized anyway because he did so much of nonsense before that particular moment.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like he did it because of this.
No, and it's not that's an empty sentiment because it's still going to drive channel
Yeah.
views and subscriptions and increase the amount of money he's making on his other fucking videos.
Yes.
Yeah.
Completely.
So yeah, fuck you, Logan Paul. You're an ass. So our next story. Energy company Energy Builders is, get this, accusing the video game Thunderbird Strike of eco-terrorism.
Oh my gosh.
So, in the video game, you play this magical lightning bird, I think, and you have the power to, like, throw down bolts of lightning and destroy, like, oil pipelines in order to, like... I know!
Yes.
I know! Fight the power. And, like, this company honestly sees this as promoting eco-terrorism and is trying to, like, do something about it.
I mean, that's like trying to say Captain Planet promoted
Oh, yeah!
eco-terrorism.
Yeah, exactly. So this isn't like a huge story, but I thought it was really fucking funny.
Here again, old people picking on gaming.
Yeah.
We cause the world's problems.
Mm-hmm. People used to think that reading and chess would rot your mind. I mean, it's not a new thing.
And political satire isn't a new thing.
Oh, no.
Which I think this game would come under.
You don't say!
Right. Oh my god.
My favorite part is the... I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, LaiQuen.
No, carry on.
I was going to say, my favorite part is that the publisher responded being like, you don't have to shoot the pipelines. You can shoot the animals and bring them to life and make nature better again that way, right? It's your choice whether you want to destroy the pipes.
Right. That's amazing.
So does that tell me that whoever, like, at the oil company who played the game just, like, subconsciously became an eco-terrorist?
I feel like if you had this game... I mean, I feel like if I was playing it, I would blow up the pipelines, not because I hate oil, but because I bet it's really fun.
Yeah! You're throwing lightning from a cool bird monster, and you're just blowing shit up.
Right! It's what you do in games.
Yeah.
I don't know. It kind of reminds me, too, in the wake of The Last Jedi, there's a scene where Chewbacca, like, goes to eat a porg, and then he doesn't. And there's been a lot of people who are like, there's just all these messages about being eco-friendly in The Last Jedi because Chewbacca didn't eat the pork. And I'm like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah, clearly it's vegan propaganda.
Right. It's like, it was a funny moment. That's all it was. And we don't know that he didn't eat it.
That's true. And look how small and supple they are. They must be delicious.
I'm sure they are. So, I don't know.
Jess, are you looking at your pog right now? Stop it.
You stop looking at my pog right now.
She's holding a little fork and knife and she's like, they do look good.
Oh, man.
I also like this differentiation between saving the animals or shooting the timeline, like it's a game of Undertale, and you can choose which route you go.
Yeah. No, it sounds like thought went into this, and it's only like a casual, like, mobile game. It's not even like an in-depth thing with like story or plot. So yeah.
What cracks me up is
Apparently oh, go on, Jess.
I was just gonna say, like, what cracks me up is the idea that a person who has never contemplated eco-terrorism would play a mobile game and then go, you know what? I should go blow up a pipeline.
Yeah.
If somebody is really just encouraged to go do this from playing this game, it's because they have thought about it before.
Yes.
That's like saying if you play Crash Bandicoot, okay, I'm gonna start jumping on crates right now. That's what I'm gonna do.
Well, okay.
You mean you don't?
Right. In the defense of these people, though, I will say there was a period of time where I did nothing but like play BioShock for like 2 weeks, and then I went on vacation and I was walking through this hotel and I saw a trash bin and I almost stuck my hand in the trash bin to look for loot, and I had to like physically restrain myself. So maybe there's something to it.
Yeah, I remember after the first time I played BioShock and I tried to take down the capitalist society. So. I mean, I don't think they were related, but...
Probably not.
So yeah, corporation's gonna corporate, man. So our next story, this one a little bit more related to Star Wars. After a few hiccups along the way, Disney actually settled on a deal to purchase Fox's film rights.
I'm pretty shocked, actually.
Me too.
I'm really torn because on the one hand, there's so many things I want from this, and on the other hand, I'm pretty sure it's a sign of the apocalypse.
Well, this might be the biggest entertainment monopoly ever.
Right. I mean, it's absolutely a monopoly. There's the only reason why it's not categorized that way is because of just weird loopholes that exist. But it's just like, is my need to see Wolverine in Avengers 4, like, does that outweigh the fact that this goes against everything I like?
It's a deep need, I'll give you that.
Yeah, it is.
Is that really worth losing the freedom in the market?
Right. For me, I just always wanted them to make a deal with Fox to share the character, like they did with Sony. I didn't really want this, but But hey, Deadpool 2 is going to be a Disney movie now, so...
Oh, God.
He's gonna be a Disney prince.
Oh my God, yes!
No, he'll still say he's a Disney
princess.
Yeah,
princess.
He'll totally say he's a Disney princess.
That's Deadpool. He doesn't give a shit about gender.
Right. And he would definitely want to hang out with the other princesses, so... I mean,
there are perks. Like, after they finish the whole 2019 Infinity War movie, like, Disney could bring in new villains.
Yeah.
Like, you'd get, like, Doctor Doom, Galactus, something like that.
Oh, man. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the actor Ben Mendelsohn.
No.
I know him as director Orson Krennic from Rogue One. He's the villain in Rogue One. He's also in a Netflix series called Bloodline. He's an actor out of Australia, and he's really good. But he's said that he would love to play Doctor Doom, and I would fully support it if you're familiar with the actor at all, just because he could really play up the eccentric side.
Can he do the, like, European accent?
I don't know. That is a very valid question. But I mean, he's already said that he would just really love to do it. So if he's motivated, he could probably learn the accent.
Good stuff. Yeah, Doctor Doom's a great villain.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's a great tragedy that the Fantastic Four have gotten what they've gotten.
I know.
Because I feel like there's potential there that just.
But they're good comics, and they always have been.
Yeah. But we've got. I didn't even see the new one. I didn't utterly hate everything about the last two, but they were definitely kiddier superhero movies. And
I'm okay with that to an extent.
Yeah, they're movies you could take your 8-year-old to, and there's nothing inherently wrong with that. But
right, I mean, you don't need to have Johnny Blaze as an absolute womanizer. I guess that's not necessary to his character.
Right. So, but they still weren't. Once I became older, they weren't movies that I wanted as much as when they first came out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to ask Jess, though, how do you think the Disney takeover is going to affect animation?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, what happened was I was just like, oh, yeah. Well, no, what happened, I can relate it to what happened when Disney purchased Star Wars. So when the Disney purchase happened, which was, when was that, 2012? I think it was 2012. Cartoon Network had Star Wars The Clone Wars, which ended up being one of the greatest pieces of Star Wars ever. Like, the first season was kind of rough because not a lot of people liked it, because again, it was kind of targeted for kids. But oh my gosh, by the time it got going, was it gorgeous. But it got canceled because Warner Brothers had the distribution rights, and Disney, rather than working something out, decided to just pull the plug and then start up their own series, which became Star Wars Rebels. So the 6th season, which ended up being the final season of the Clone Wars, was halted halfway through, and that half of a season became a Netflix original and was only ever released on Netflix and then subsequently DVD. And then there was like a season and a half, maybe 2.5 seasons, that was at least written, if not started into production. And they've turned those scripts into novels and comics, and they're still getting the stories out there. But it was really sad because it was this really successful series that was doing great in ratings and selling great merchandise, and they just pulled it rather than try to work out a deal. Now, Rebels is great, and I'm really happy we got Star Wars Rebels, but it's just kind of sad that the show just ended. And it's possible you could see that happen with a lot of the other cartoons that they have going now, too.
Do you think there's a chance of new cartoons, though? I was reading one of the articles saying that one of the things they've purchased is Home Alone. And I was like, bizarre to mention it, but the idea of a cartoon version of Home Alone actually kind of tickles me.
I would watch it.
Sure.
Why not? I'd give it a shot just to see what happens.
I mean, Disney usually does pretty good with other people's IPs.
Yeah. I mean, they're remaking DuckTales right now. And
What?
Yeah, they remade DuckTales. You guys don't know this?
No!
It's like currently airing.
I knew!
No!
DuckTales is currently restarted on Disney XD, and it's David Tennant as Scrooge McDuck.
There is a recording somewhere of the
I'm
titles
so
as
gonna
well.
start setting this to record right
I know.
now.
I've been meaning
Do
to
it!
go through and watch it. Surprise!
Woohoo!
If you hear this random gush of wind, it's because I ran to start looking for it to record. Damn!
I steal my parents' DirecTV login so I can watch Rebels online. And I'm probably going to use it to watch DuckTales also because it's off the same network.
If I was Netflix, I'd actually be worried because Disney's buying all these rights and they're going to start showing all this stuff that Netflix soon won't be allowed to do or something.
It's going to be... I'm really curious what's going to happen with that because of the Netflix original Marvel shows like Daredevil and Punisher and all that.
Those shows are so awesome!
I just wonder where they're going to go because they are Netflix originals, but they're also Disney owned. And I'm really curious what's going to happen because they would both have a claim to it, or I don't know if they're going to be on both. I've kind of wondered that, like, I made sure to buy the last season of the Clone Wars because it was a Netflix original, but it's Disney owned, and I didn't know where it was going to go. Of course, I'm going to buy Disney Netflix anyway because it's going to have a live action TV show on it exclusively, and there's no way I'm not going to watch that. So,
yeah,
I still wanted to own it.
Yeah. That's the other thing I did over the break was watch The Punisher. That's real good.
I haven't gotten into as many of the Marvel superhero TV shows, and I really should. I have a bad taste in my mouth.
The Netflix ones are the best. The other ones are just kind of
no, the Netflix stuff is great. Even the worst ones are still better than the average show.
Yeah.
I've seen the first season of Daredevil, and I started Jessica Jones. The problem was my cousin was showing them to me, and I was working on a movie at the time, and so I'd come back. I was staying with her, and I would come back from like 14-hour days, and she'd be like, "Let's watch Daredevil," and I kept falling asleep, not because it was bad, but out of sheer exhaustion. So I just I couldn't really get into it, and unfortunately, it's just kind of left this bad like association that I need to. Yeah, I just need to get over it and watch it again on my own, and I'm sure I'd like it. I just don't know why she decided to force it on me when I'm like, sure, I'll watch it. Okay, that's nice. I'm going to bed now. Like, I don't know where you thought this was going to work.
So, Civilization 6's next expansion includes a first for the series, Canadian First Nations representation through the Cree and their leader Poundmaker.
Woo!
That's really cool, actually.
That Civ is pretty cool in general, with bringing in, like, I've learned, it's sad to say, but I've probably learned more about, like, world history and nations through playing Civ.
I was surprised to find out how much Gandhi likes nukes.
Oh, I love that. Do you know the story of the Easter egg?
I remember why it first started, and then they just ran with it. I think it was in the second game.
I don't remember what game it was.
He started with aggression of 0, or like negative 100 or whatever, like the least you could have, and as soon as you would normally lose an aggression with him, it overflowed him to the maximum.
Yeah,
and he would just be like a warmonger.
It was great. I remember when I found that out because I started playing Civ with Civ 4, and I didn't know that story. So whenever I'd play against Gandhi, I'd be like, why is Gandhi such a dick? This doesn't like, what is going on? And I think one day I just got frustrated and I just Googled, like, what is up with Gandhi? And I read an article about what happened and I laughed really hard and I think it's great. But yeah, it would be so weird. I'd be playing the game and like everyone was so weirdly perfect, and then you'd get Gandhi, and I'm like, what is wrong with you?
I feel like that's the quote of the night. Why is Gandhi such a dick?
Yeah, that's a good podcast title. I'll write that down.
We'll get people clicking. That's
Why is
sure.
Gandhi such a dick? But yeah, Poundmaker's a big figure in Canadian First Nations history. He basically gave himself over to the British as a peace offering so they'd stop warring with the Cree.
Okay.
Us evil British people.
I mean, yeah.
I
mean, the French weren't great either, but you guys out-eviled them so hard that you committed an atrocity against them.
Hooray!
Yeah.
Way to go.
Oh, man.
And that's why South Africans spell everything weird. Because of you guys.
Weren't you guys
Oh, yes.
colonized by the Dutch first?
Yeah. Well, we kind of went through the British education
No, the Brits
system for some
took
reason.
South Africa over diamonds, didn't they?
It's fine. John knows more
blood
about American
diamond.
history than I do too. I'm used
Yeah,
to it.
well, what I've apparently found out is, like, my modern history class taught me more than anyone ever learned about history in the world.
In history.
In history. I see what you did there.
Oh.
But yeah,
You've got me questioning my history
I'm
classes
sorry,
now.
I'm a weird guy that remembers a lot of things, okay?
Damn it, John! Again!
It's always those Canadians just showing up everyone else in the world. And then feeling sorry about it.
Yeah, I feel so sorry. Sorry.
It's alright. I think technically we still own Canada.
You do. Your queen is still our head of state.
Ah.
I mean, she's basically doesn't care, so that's good.
Well, yeah. I think we have a similar relationship with Australia still.
I have a really strong urge to just like go throw some tea and some water right now.
I like how
I'd just like to throw our Prime Minister in the water right now.
Yeah,
but, whatever.
That would be alright.
So anyway, back to the topic at hand, Civilization. I've never played it.
Oh, it's so fun. Actually, I haven't played Civ 6 because I've been waiting for all the expansions to come out to buy it. But in Civ, I think it might, I can't remember if it's Civ 4 or Civ 5, but if you play as the United States, like every Civ has, like every leader has a special ability that grants like a special bonus to your people. And then there's either a special military unit or a special building. And the special building for the United States of America replaces the market, and it's like the supermarket, or it's like a mall. Like, so literally, like the cornerstone of American culture is the mall.
Yay, capitalism!
Yay, capitalism! The game is actually kind of cuttingly realistic, and it cracks me up. Like it's.
I've only ever seen memes of it. I've never played it.
Oh, it's so fun. I love it. But you have to like be willing to sit there, and you get what's called one more turn syndrome, because it's a turn-based game, and it becomes really easy to go, oh, but I just need to do all of this, and it's 2 turns until this building's done, so I'm just going to play these 2 turns, and then I'll go to bed. Oh, but in one more turn, my person will get to this tile that I need to upgrade, so I'll do one more turn.
Oh, so you keep playing.
Yeah, and before you know it, like 3 days have passed, and you didn't show up for work, and everyone's calling you, and you're like, what did I do? It's kind of an amazing game. But I've played Civ 4, 5, and a game called Civilization Beyond Earth, which is Civ in space. I love it. I'm not particularly good at it, but I love it.
Our next story. Apple now requires apps to disclose the odds for their loot boxes.
Interesting. I go back and forth on Apple as to whether or not they're like actually going to be Skynet, or if they will be the resistance to Google's Skynet. I can never decide.
Yeah. They're definitely keeping each other in check. I mean, Apple's clearly doing this to just get ahead of any controversy that could come from having games with loot boxes on their system. Right. But, like, that's good enough, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, if it's the right thing for the wrong reason, it's still the right thing being done.
I think it's far better to be proactive than reactive situation.
Yeah. Especially when this is a situation that involves actual harm.
Right. And it's not like Apple is hurting for money.
Nope.
or anything.
Now they keep selling their different colored phones.
Right, exactly. And in a way, I'm not really sure they stand to lose a whole lot of money anyway, because there's people who are still going to, like, buy the loot boxes.
Yeah,
even
this
if
isn't going to stop everybody who has addiction to that kind of gambling.
It's like when McDonald's posts the calories on a Big Mac. Like, people are still going to buy the Big Mac. I was like, 800,
huh? Oh, no.
Right. It's
like, wow, I guess I'm just going to be fat then.
You just know ahead of time instead
Yeah.
of being surprised about it.
So, yeah, it's not really going to solve the issue, but it is a step forward, and without any sort of governing body putting rules into place, it's nice to see at least a nominal attempt to negate it. Stardew Valley's multiplayer mode is coming along nicely, but has been pushed back to Q1 2018.
Yay!
I know, I'm really excited that it's coming along well. I just want it now.
Yes. And I think it's a good sign that they pushed it back instead of releasing it in garbage state.
Right.
And you see,
totally.
Yeah, and you see all the things they want to implement. It's like way more than they ever needed to do.
Right. Well, the game is phenomenal, but it was made by one person.
Dude. Yeah.
And so it's this really weird, because I've played it and I've hit kind of the end stage of the game, and it's like this weird drop-off where there's so much story and there's so much you're discovering and there's all these cutscenes with all these people, and then it just like stops, and then you're just like, oh, I'm gonna redesign my farm again, which isn't a problem because for it's super well priced. So I got all the content, like what was there was totally worth the price. And then the fact that you can just play it forever is great, but it is like a steep drop-off. So I'm kind of hoping, too, that the multiplayer also kind of adds some of other stuff in, but it's not like a complaint that the game is incomplete. It's just I love the game so much. I would love more of the game.
Yeah, and again, I'm surprised at the number of things they want to do with this, because at first when I heard about it, it was like, yeah, we're going to let you, like, one person will host the world and the other person can come in and help them on their farm and go mining and stuff. And I was like, oh, that's rad. I'd like that. And now I'm reading, like, you're going to be able to marry other people.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah, no, it's really exciting. It's kind of been watching it develop in the way that Minecraft developed when it first began.
Mm-hmm.
And knowing it's got that same passionate following behind it of people.
Mm-hmm.
And I really think this game's got longevity nobody expected from what was just a farming simulator.
Right, it was just,
The mod community is phenomenal.
Oh, yeah. I can't live without the dash button now.
Oh, yeah. Or there's the harvest with scythe, which just makes it easier.
Yeah.
There's tractor mods. There's
I need to investigate the mods.
Yep.
Oh.
There is actually a multiplayer mod already out there somewhere.
Yes, there is. Yep, there is a multiplayer mod. I've heard it's a little unstable, but I mean, that makes sense. It's turning a single player game into a multiplayer game, but I know of people who use it.
Well, it uses the same engine as Terraria and Starbound, and both of those do the multiplayer in the way I described it. So it should be something they can implement without a whole lot of fuss.
Right.
But yeah, like, I'm probably going to get back into Stardew as soon as it becomes... I know you are all talking about the ladies' farm or whatever. I want to see if we can get like a boys' farm. Have our pretty boys just working hard, shirtless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that would be a lot of fun. Girls versus boys kind of.
Yeah. And what I'm excited about too is if we're all kind of working on the same farm, there's stuff that I like about the game, there's stuff, other people like about the game. So it's like, okay, so somebody can do the farming while somebody does the mining, while somebody does the fishing. And it's not like you're not as stressed about. It's weird to say that Stardew Valley can get stressful, but
because there's a lot to do and you want to do it, but you still have to work, and it sucks because that's life.
Right, and it's in the genius behind Stardew Valley is the time on it, because each day is approximately 15 minutes. Feel like you have time to do things in the day, but it's just short enough to make you feel like you can just play one more day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's really dastardly.
It's dastardly.
It's that one more move game, isn't it?
Yeah.
There was a great moment a little ways back. I don't know if anybody follows Film Critic Hulk on Twitter.
What?
Film Critic Hulk. It's a fairly good sized website. It's a guy who writes like Hulk in all caps, but they're these really intellectual movie reviews. If you're unfamiliar with Film Critic Hulk, I highly recommend looking it up.
Picturing the real Hulk trying to do.
I'll check it out.
Really, I mean, he literally does Hulk likes this movie. Hulk likes the way the juxtaposition does blah blah blah. It's really strange.
That's cute.
They're the best movie reviews. But I saw on Twitter, he's like, oh, I just got Stardew Valley. And I just remember I sent him a tweet that's like, see you in 3 weeks. And then like 2 days later, he responds to his own tweet and he's like, what day is it?
We've all had that moment in Stardew Valley.
Yep.
It will be my new World of Warcraft. It's going to be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm really curious how the passage of time is going to work, because there's things like when you're talking to an NPC, time doesn't go on.
I'm also excited to see that there's going to be a PS Vita port for Stardew Valley.
Nice.
Ooh.
PS Vita support in 2018.
Well, the communities that I play with the Otome games and stuff, they all use PS Vita.
Oh, I've heard the Vita's a great system. It just didn't get a lot of support.
Yeah.
No, but it's huge in sort of the dating sim and Otome scene, so I can see so many people getting more involved.
Well, that's good.
With Stardew Valley because of that. Whether that's you can play cross-system, we don't know.
Okay.
Oh, hang on. It'll have cross-buy too, so if you've got it on the PlayStation 4, you won't need to buy it again for your Vita.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and of course more language support. You've got French, Italian, Korean and Turkish coming in 2018.
Oh, sweet.
So yeah, they're really supporting this game and it's really good.
It's been a really well supported game. It's been really popular. I remember I watched a Let's Play of it on a channel much larger than mine called Outside Extra, which is a spinoff of Outside Xbox. And I watched them play it and I'm like, what is this game? Because I usually don't like games like Stardew Valley, but I was just mesmerized by it because there's just all these weird dark humor moments. Like there's one point where like the lady Robin, who is the carpenter, and then her husband I think it's Demetrius, is the scientist, and then they have the son Sebastian, who's pretty obviously from Robin's first marriage due to biology. And then they have Maru, which is presumably a daughter between the two of them. And there's one point where like in the winter you can go up to Sebastian and he'll be like, Demetrius made me take down my snowman. He didn't like it. And then I remember walking by the house and seeing a snowman on the outside. And I was like, oh, it's probably just like a weird game glitch, right? Like it's just dialogue that wasn't matching the background. And then you go talk to Maru and she's like, did you see my snowman? It's great. And I'm like, is this about how like the stepdad is coming down hard on the stepson, but like treats his actual dog going on here? And it's just, there's little moments like that throughout the game, if you pay attention, that are like, that's kind of dark.
Yeah, one of the things that really stunned me, is it Emily who that guy is into and they're friends, but he's super friend-zoned?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
if
Emily
you hook up with
Clint.
Emily, he stops talking to her.
Yeah.
What a prick.
Yep. Yeah, and he doesn't really. You get the impression that other than the stock dialogue, like he still has to talk to you because he's the blacksmith, and you work with him, but he also kind of stops talking to you. But I had that happen. So like when I played the game, I got to 8 hearts with everyone, and then I did what's called the 10 heart scene with a couple of people, which is where you like date them or whatever. And but the 8 heart scene is usually like a little bit romantic, and then the 10 heart scene is like obviously romantic. And so I got to 8 hearts with Emily, even though I wasn't really intending to marry her. And Clint the blacksmith still does that. So like even if you don't marry her, it's like still story in the game where he stops talking to her and you. Because like I have now married someone else.
Yeah.
And there's no like, oh, never mind. Like,
yeah, no, I thought they did Clint really well because he's like nice guy TM.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, Emily, Emily snuck up on me. Where like I was doing the same thing as you, where I was sort of like playing a bit, dating the different girls, and even what's his face, the one that looks like a model, Elliot.
Oh, Elliot, yeah. Fabio.
Yeah, Fabio. And then I was like, I got one of her scenes, and she was like transcending onto the astral plane.
Yes.
And I'm like, well, there's my pick.
Yeah, there you go.
She's actual magic. I mean, you can't top that.
Right. Yeah, I my first playthrough, I was exploring the dudes, and my second playthrough, I'll probably go through more of the scenes with the ladies. But I've been trying to decide. I feel like the lady picks are ultimately better than
They
the
are super
male
better.
picks.
Well, I think that the guys were designed to be like, and maybe LaiQuen has something on this, like Otome husbandos.
Yeah.
Because they're all like stereotypes, like, oh, I'm an alcoholic, but it's because I'm damaged. Or like,
Right.
I'm a rebellious loner, but it's because I'm damaged. Or like,
Right.
I'm a lonely poet who lives on a beach because I'm damaged.
Right.
And then you've got the jock and the hot guy.
Who's only jerk because he's damaged. And
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And,
yeah, I mean,
they just go ahead.
When I first played it through, Shane wasn't available, and I followed him through to the 8 hearts, and then couldn't go any further, and I was gutted because Shane was the only one that I found vaguely interesting.
Yeah. Oh, when I was playing it, they were both available, and I really liked Shane because ironically he hated me, but he was also the first one I got any kind of heart points with.
Yeah.
Because he likes hot peppers, and I just grew a lot of hot peppers my first year, and it just worked out. I don't know. But I almost married him, and then I was kind of looking into it, and I guess when you because when you marry them, their bedroom like magically joins with your bedroom because that's how marriage works.
Yeah, no, that's exactly how it works.
And so, but the bedroom model doesn't change. So it's his bedroom when he's like an alcoholic. So it still has like the beer cans and everything in it. So it's literally, so like his storyline is literally how you save him from this depression and he's gonna turn over a new leaf, and he does. But then he marries you and he's still like drunk all the time, and I'm like, this just doesn't. I don't know what this is.
So it's like you married him and his past problems in a weird way.
Yeah. And it wouldn't even be that big of a deal, except for like his story is that he overcomes them.
Yeah, he's supposed to be a redemption arc.
Yeah, and then it's like, oh well, we didn't change like whatever, and it's like his favorite gift is still beer, and I was like, I don't know, maybe I'm expecting too much out of this $16 game on Steam, but it just kind of bothered me. So then I dated 3 other guys, and it was fine.
Yeah, everybody's pretty cool with polyamory too.
Oh yeah,
that's great.
It's totally fine. The best is if you get divorced in the game, you can erase the person's memory and then...
Okay, that's fucked up as shit. I remember that.
No, it gets better. And then you can turn your children into doves and they'll fly away.
What?
I'm not kidding. You go to like the witch's hut and...
Yeah, no, you can magically gaslight your ex-lover and like turn your children into animals so you don't have to look after them anymore.
Yes.
That's insane.
I know, it's so crazy! Alright, so this is our last story, and this is just a funny one that made me laugh. I'd like to end on one of these. Self-serve gas pumping is now legal in rural Oregon, and it's the dumbest thing.
That's great. So what was it that you had to have a full service station?
Yeah, all stations in Oregon until this law were full service, and you were not allowed to pump your own gas.
Oh my god.
This is only lifting that in rural areas, so presumably it's where they can't find anyone to hire for the job.
Right.
Like,
what's made me laugh most about the story, because I had actually heard of it before it came up on our sort of running order, was the amount of Oregon people that are really against pumping their own gas.
They're just absolutely livid.
There's one person talking about not wanting to smell of gasoline, and I'm just like, do you douse yourself in it, or do you just stick it in your car? Come on.
Like, do people not know how to pump gas?
They don't. That's the thing.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
Yeah, it's such a stupid little thing.
It is. It's the dumbest, and I love it.
We don't pump our own gas in my country, but I still know how to do it. Like, it's not that hard.
No.
No, it's real easy.
I pump my own gas all the time.
My parents taught me to do it when I was 8, so they didn't have to do it anymore. Like,
I love that.
Hey, John, get out
Yeah,
the car. Pump
hey
the
there,
gas."
son. Let me show you how to pump gasoline. Don't you feel like a big grown-up? Good. Now take the money into the purse and I'm going to go sit in the car.
That's
I
such
love
a parent
how parents
thing, though.
make
Mhm.
that stuff sound like a fun game just because
Yep.
they're like lazy to do it
Oh, yeah.
themselves. Oh, this is a fun adult game, John.
This is
Go
fun
ahead, do
adult
it.
game, pumping the gas.
You're a big man right now. You pump that gas, son. And
Oh
you're like,
my
oh,
gosh.
why?
Just want to add, I don't even have a car, and I know how to pump gas.
Yeah. See, yeah, Oregon.
I
Seriously.
just really want to see like Portlandia do a sketch on this.
Is that show still on?
I think it's going into its final season, so it's probably like already recorded,
Yeah.
therefore, or filmed, so they might not get it in. I don't know.
That sucks. Yeah, that sound. Well, it wouldn't affect Portland though. They still don't. They're still not allowed
That's
to
true.
pump gas in Portland.
Well, yeah, but they go outside of Portland often. Like the pilot is this couple wants to know if the free range chicken that's being served at a restaurant.
Oh yeah, and they go join a cult.
The cult that's led by Jason Sudeikis.
Yes.
It's so good.
Oh man.
I fell in love with that show so hard.
I don't know what it is about shows like that are just like unnervingly accurate representations of the weird parts of culture. Like in Canada, we've got two: Corner Gas for out west, and Trailer Park Boys for where I live.
Yeah.
And they're both like so accurate, it's uncomfortable.
Well, as a Brit, I would just like to say that Doctor Who completely real.
Do you guys have something like that that's just like an uncomfortable... Well, that's sort of your sense of humor in England.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have lots of little sitcoms and things that are really quite close to the mark, but I can't name any off the top of my head. Black Books was quite a good one.
People love Black Books over here.
And actually, talking about Black Mirror, as we did earlier, that is quite uncomfortably close to the truth in a lot of ways.
Okay.
One of the first episodes of Black Mirror was about the Prime Minister having to have relations with a pig. Amazingly, we seem to have come full circle.
No,
and that's accurate?
And it actually turns out that our current Prime Minister at that point had, back in his college days, had sexual relations with a pig.
Oh, wow.
What?
It was a dead pig. But
like that makes it any better. Oh, he was a dead pig. He pop that night and be like, he really worked the meat.
He's just pounding it. Just pounding it.
It's so tender.
From that.
The meat is so tender. What's your secret? I really just pounded it. I beat that meat down.
Oh my gosh. Wow, we went there. We've gone there.
Thanks for joining us, guys.
Yep. I think we should just stop.
Yeah.